Everything you want is on the other side of belief. The moment you start acting like life is working for you, it actually does. Think about that for a second. What if the only thing standing between you and success, happiness, or confidence isn't luck, talent, or circumstances, but simply the way you choose to think? Most people wait for proof before they believe things will work out. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or a sign that they're on the right path. But here's the truth. Life starts changing the moment you decide to act as if everything is already working in your favor. Not because it has yet, but because your belief makes it happen. Imagine waking up every day with the mindset that no matter what happens, you will find a way. Imagine handling challenges with confidence, seeing obstacles as opportunities, and attracting success just by shifting how you think. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly how to develop this mindset and use it to create unstoppable momentum in your life. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I show you how to act as if everything always works out for you, and watch how your world starts to shift. Let's dive in. Number 1. Change your thoughts. Change your life. Your mind is a magnet. If you think of blessings, you attract blessings. If you think of problems, you attract problems. The way you think shapes your reality. Every action you take, every emotion you feel, and every result you see in your life all begin in your mind. But here's the problem. Most people don't realize just how much control they have over their thoughts. They wake up every morning and let their mind wander wherever it wants, often slipping into negative patterns without even noticing. They focus on what's missing, what's wrong, or what could go wrong, and then wonder why they feel stuck. But what if I told you that the first step to changing your life is simply changing what you focus on? Your thoughts are like seeds. Whatever you plant in your mind will eventually grow into your reality. If you constantly think about stress, failure, and problems, you will naturally experience more of them. But if you choose to plant thoughts of confidence, success, and possibilities, you'll begin to see those things appear in your life. This isn't just a nice idea, it's science. The brain operates on a principle called confirmation bias, which means that whatever you constantly think about, your brain will start looking for proof to support it. If you tell yourself, "I always struggle," your brain will highlight every past failure and make sure you notice every obstacle. But if you start saying, "Things always work out for me," your brain will begin to find evidence of that too. Most people operate on autopilot, running the same mental patterns every day. They don't question their thoughts, and as a result, they allow negative ideas to dictate their emotions and decisions. The key to transformation is awareness, paying attention to what's going on in your mind. Take a moment and ask yourself, what kinds of thoughts have been dominating your mind lately? Are they filled with fear, doubt, and frustration? Or are they focused on possibilities, solutions, and growth? If you find yourself constantly thinking negatively, don't judge yourself. Just recognize that you now have the power to shift it. You are not stuck with your current mindset. Just like a muscle, your brain can be trained. And the good news is, it responds quickly to change. One of the easiest ways to rewire your thinking is to start asking better questions. Instead of waking up and thinking, "What if something goes wrong today?" Shift it to, "What can I do today to make progress?" Instead of thinking, "Why does this always happen to me?" Try asking, "What can I learn from this?" Questions direct your mind, and when you start asking empowering questions, your brain will start giving you empowering answers. Another powerful technique is affirmations, repeating positive statements about yourself and your future. This might feel strange at first, but studies show that repeating positive beliefs daily actually changes brain pathways over time. Start with something simple. "I am capable of handling anything that comes my way," or "I attract solutions and opportunities every day." Say it, write it down, and most importantly, act like it's already true. Visualization is another way to reshape your mindset. Olympic athletes, top entrepreneurs, and high performers across all industries use mental rehearsal to prepare for success. When you take a few minutes each day to visualize yourself succeeding, handling challenges with confidence, and achieving your goals, your brain starts treating those images as reality. It becomes easier to take action because your mind has already seen the success. This is why people who expect good things tend to experience them, because they train their brain to look for opportunities instead of problems. The shift doesn't happen overnight, but the moment you become aware of your thoughts and decide to take control of them, you've already won half the battle. The rest is about consistency, choosing every day to focus on solutions instead of problems, on growth instead of fear. When you master your thoughts, you master your life. So here's a challenge. For the next 24 hours, pay attention to your thoughts. Every time you catch yourself thinking something negative, pause and ask, is this helping me? If the answer is no, replace it with something better. With practice, this small habit can completely change your life. Because the truth is, everything you want starts in your mind, and the moment you shift your thoughts, you shift your world. Number 2, act like the person you want to become. Most people wait for confidence before they take action. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or some external sign that they are ready. But here's the truth. Confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. If you want to change your life, you have to start acting like the person you want to become before you feel ready. The people who succeed in life don't wait for permission or proof. They step into their future self now, even before they have the results to show for it. They act as if they are already capable, already successful, already the kind of person who achieves their goals. And guess what happens? Life starts to align with that belief. Think about someone you admire. Maybe it's a successful entrepreneur, an athlete, or just someone who carries themselves with unshakable confidence. Do you think they started out that way? Of course not. They weren't born with confidence. They built it, step by step. They showed up before they had everything figured out. They made mistakes, and they kept going anyway. They didn't wait to feel like an expert before they started acting like one. This is what separates people who grow and succeed from those who stay stuck. Successful people act first, and confidence follows. Your brain is constantly watching your actions, and it forms beliefs based on what you do. If you act unsure, hesitant, and fearful, your brain starts to believe you are not capable. But if you act with certainty, make bold moves, and step into the version of yourself that you want to become, your brain catches up and starts to reinforce that belief. This is called self-perception theory. When you behave in a certain way, your brain starts believing that's who you are. That's why acting as if works. When you start moving through life as the best version of yourself, everything shifts. Your energy, your decisions, and even the way people respond to you. But what does acting as if actually look like? It's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about aligning your actions, body language, and habits with the person you are becoming. Let's say you want to be a confident public speaker. Instead of waiting to feel confident, start acting like someone who already is. Stand tall, speak with clarity, and put yourself in situations where you can practice. Want to be successful in business? Start thinking, talking, and making decisions like a successful entrepreneur would. Want to be more disciplined? Start making disciplined choices now. Even in small ways. You don't wait to be fit before you go to the gym. You go to the gym to become fit. The same applies to every area of life. Your body language plays a huge role in how you feel and how others perceive you. Studies show that standing up straight, making eye contact, and carrying yourself with confidence actually makes you feel more confident. When you change your posture, you change your psychology. Try this. The next time you walk into a room, lift your head, straighten your shoulders, and move as if you belong there. Even if you feel nervous inside, your body will send signals to your brain that say, I've got this, and soon that feeling becomes real. Another key part of acting as if is your self-talk. What are you saying to yourself every day? Are you reinforcing doubts, or are you speaking like the person you want to be? Imagine a person who is already where you want to be. What would they say to themselves? Would they say, I hope I can do this? Or would they say, I know I will figure this out? The words you use matter. Instead of saying I'll try, say I will. Instead of saying I'm not sure, say I'll find a way. Your brain listens to the words you speak, so make sure they align with success. Taking action before you feel ready is scary, but that's exactly why it works. It pushes you out of your comfort zone and forces you to grow into the version of yourself that you want to be. Think of every decision as a chance to step into your future self. Before making a choice, ask yourself, what would the confident, successful version of me do in this situation? Would they hesitate, or would they take action? Would they play small, or would they step up? When you start making decisions from that mindset, you accelerate your growth. The key to this process is consistency. Acting as if it isn't a one-time thing, it's a daily practice. At first, it might feel unnatural. You might feel like an imposter, but keep going. With each small step, you are rewiring your brain and building the identity of the person you are becoming. Over time, it stops feeling like an act, and it becomes who you are. So here's your challenge. For the next 24 hours, act like the most confident, successful version of yourself. Walk, talk, and think like the person you want to become. Make decisions as if you already have what you want, and watch how the world starts to shift in your favor. Because when you act as if everything always works out for you, eventually, it does. Number 3, be positive, but stay real. Positivity is powerful, but only when it's real. Too often, people misunderstand what it truly means to have a positive mindset. They assume it's about ignoring problems, pretending everything is fine, and forcing a smile when they're struggling inside. But that's not positivity. That's denial. Real positivity isn't about avoiding reality. It's about facing it with the belief that no matter what happens, you will find a way forward. It's about choosing to see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Life is unpredictable. Some days, everything flows effortlessly, while other days, nothing seems to go your way. And in those tough moments, blind positivity won't help. Telling yourself, everything is perfect, when it clearly isn't, will only create frustration and self-doubt. Instead, true optimism means acknowledging what's difficult while refusing to be defeated by it. It's the difference between saying, this is happening to me, and this is happening for me. That shift in perspective changes everything. Think about the strongest people you know, the ones who always seem to handle challenges with grace. They're not the ones who pretend life is easy. They're the ones who refuse to let difficulties break them. They don't ignore problems, but they also don't dwell on them. Instead, they focus on solutions, growth, and possibilities. That's what real positivity looks like. It's not fake happiness. It's resilience. It's the mindset that says, I may not like this situation, but I can handle it. I can learn from it. I can grow through it. So how do you develop this kind of mindset? The first step is being honest with yourself. If something is hard, admit it. If you feel frustrated, acknowledge it. Suppressing emotions doesn't make them go away. It only makes them stronger. But once you've faced reality, shift your focus from the problem to the solution. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what can I do about this? That one simple change can transform your entire outlook on life. Another way to stay positive without being unrealistic is to reframe your struggles. Every challenge carries a lesson, but you won't see it unless you look for it. Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted. Does that mean you're a failure, or does it mean something better is coming? Maybe you faced a setback in your business. Does that mean you should give up, or does it mean you need to adjust your approach? The way you define your experiences determines how they shape you. You can either see difficulties as reasons to stop, or you can see them as stepping stones to something greater. It's also important to control what you focus on. Your mind is like a camera lens. It magnifies whatever you point it at. If you constantly focus on what's going wrong, you will find more things to worry about. But if you train your mind to focus on progress, gratitude, and opportunities, you will start to see more of them. This doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means choosing not to let them control you. For example, if you're having a stressful day, take a moment to find one thing that's going right. Maybe a friend checked in on you. Maybe you completed a task you had been avoiding. Maybe you simply made it through another day. No matter how small, acknowledging progress shifts your energy from frustration to possibility. Another crucial aspect of real positivity is taking action. Positive thinking without action is just wishful thinking. It's not enough to hope for things to get better. You have to make them better. If something in your life isn't working, don't just sit there saying, I hope this changes. Take steps to change it. Whether it's improving your skills, setting new goals, or simply adjusting your mindset. Action is what turns optimism into results. One of the most effective ways to stay optimistic is to surround yourself with people who uplift you. Negativity is contagious, but so is positivity. If you spend time around people who constantly complain, doubt, and focus on the worst, it will be hard to stay hopeful. But if you surround yourself with people who encourage you, support you, and challenge you to be better, their energy will lift you up. This doesn't mean avoiding people who are struggling. It means choosing to be around those who inspire solutions rather than spread negativity. At the end of the day, real positivity is about balance. It's about facing reality while believing in your ability to shape a better future. It's about acknowledging pain while choosing to keep moving forward. It's about understanding that every challenge is an opportunity to grow. So the next time you face something difficult, don't ignore it. Accept it, learn from it, and then shift your focus to what you can do next. That's how you stay positive in a way that actually works. Here's a challenge for you. Find one situation in your life right now that feels like a struggle. Instead of seeing it as a problem, reframe it as an opportunity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to grow? When you start looking at life this way, you'll realize that everything, even the hard stuff, is working in your favor. Because real positivity isn't about pretending life is perfect. It's about knowing you have the power to handle whatever comes your way. Number 4. Ask questions that move you forward. Your mind is like a search engine. It answers the questions you ask it. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are constantly asking yourself questions. The problem is that most people ask themselves the wrong ones. Instead of asking questions that push them forward, they ask questions that keep them stuck. Why do bad things always happen to me? Why can't I ever catch a break? What if I fail? These kinds of questions do nothing but reinforce fear, self-doubt, and negativity. Your brain is wired to look for answers, so when you ask a negative question, it will find evidence to support it. If you keep asking why you can't succeed, your mind will remind you of every mistake you've ever made, every time you failed, and every reason you should give up. But what if you change the questions? What if instead of focusing on what's wrong, you started asking yourself, how can I make this work? What's the lesson in this? What's one thing I can do right now to move forward? The questions you ask yourself shape your entire mindset. Think of your brain like a GPS system. If you enter the wrong destination, it will guide you in the wrong direction. But if you input the right coordinates, it will lead you exactly where you want to go. Your thoughts work the same way. Negative questions take you toward frustration, fear, and inaction, while empowering questions lead you toward solutions, confidence, and action. So if you want to change your life, you need to start by changing the questions you ask yourself every day. One of the most important questions you can ask yourself is, what can I do right now? Many people waste energy worrying about things they can't control. They obsess over the past, stress about the future, and feel powerless in the present. But no matter what situation you're in, there is always something you can do right now to improve it, even if it's a small step. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what's within my control? This simple shift in perspective takes you from feeling like a victim to feeling empowered. Another powerful question is, what's the lesson in this? Life is full of challenges, and sometimes things don't go as planned. You will face setbacks, disappointments, and failures, but successful people don't let those moments define them. They use them as stepping stones. Every challenge carries a lesson, but you won't see it unless you look for it. If you keep asking, why do I always fail? Your brain will find ways to confirm that belief. But if you ask, what is this teaching me? Your mind will start focusing on growth. Maybe a failed project is teaching you to be more patient. Maybe a rejection is redirecting you towards something better. Maybe a mistake is showing you what needs to improve. When you train yourself to find lessons in every challenge, nothing in life is wasted. A great way to improve your mindset is to start your day by asking, how can I make today great? Instead of waking up and immediately thinking about stress, problems, or responsibilities. Take a moment to set the tone for the day. When you ask a positive question first thing in the morning, your brain starts searching for answers that support that mindset. You'll naturally start looking for ways to be productive, kind, and focused. This small habit can completely transform the way you approach life. It's also important to ask questions that focus on progress rather than perfection. Many people get stuck because they feel overwhelmed by big goals. They ask themselves, how will I ever accomplish this? And immediately feel discouraged. But a better question is, what's one small step I can take today? No matter how big your dream is, it will always be achieved one step at a time. Instead of focusing on the entire journey, just focus on the next move. If you want to start a business, what's one thing you can do today? If you want to get healthier, what's one small habit you can change right now? Progress is built through small, consistent steps, and the right questions will help you take them. Another powerful question to ask is, who can I learn from? No one succeeds alone. The fastest way to grow is to learn from people who have already done what you want to do. Instead of struggling alone, ask yourself who can mentor you, inspire you, or guide you. Books, podcasts, online courses, and mentors are all sources of wisdom. When you start asking who has already figured this out, you save yourself years of trial and error. Finally, one of the most life-changing questions you can ask yourself is, what am I grateful for? No matter how tough life gets, there is always something to be thankful for. When you focus on what's missing, you feel empty. But when you focus on what you have, you feel abundant. Gratitude shifts your perspective and keeps you in a mindset of possibility. Every night before bed, take a moment to ask yourself, what went well today? Even on the hardest days, there is always something good if you choose to see it. At the end of the day, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts, and your thoughts are shaped by the questions you ask. If you want better results, start asking better questions. Instead of focusing on problems, focus on solutions. Instead of dwelling on mistakes, focus on lessons. Instead of waiting for life to change, ask yourself what you can do to change it. Here's a challenge. For the next 24 hours, pay attention to the questions you ask yourself. Every time you catch yourself asking a negative question, stop and replace it with an empowering one. This small shift can completely change your outlook and your life. Because when you start asking better questions, you start creating better results. Number 5. Turn challenges into your strength. Life is full of challenges, and no one is immune to setbacks. At some point, you will face rejection, failure, and unexpected obstacles. But here's the truth. Your challenges are not there to break you. They are there to build you. The way you respond to adversity determines whether you stay stuck or rise stronger. Every successful person has faced difficulties, but the difference between those who grow and those who give up is perspective. You can either see challenges as barriers, or you can see them as stepping stones. The moment you start viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth, everything changes. Think about a time when you faced a difficult situation. Maybe you lost a job, failed at something important, or felt like nothing was going your way. In the moment, it might have felt like the end of the world. But looking back, didn't that challenge shape you in some way? Didn't it force you to grow, learn, or make a change that ultimately made you stronger? The truth is, growth doesn't happen in comfort. You don't build muscle without resistance, and you don't build strength without struggle. Challenges push you beyond what you thought you were capable of, and that's how you evolve. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that challenges are signs to stop. When something gets hard, they assume it's not meant to be, but the reality is challenges are not stop signs, they are tests to see how badly you want something. When you shift your mindset to see difficulties as part of the process rather than obstacles in the way, you become unstoppable. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking, "How can this make me stronger?" That small shift in thinking turns every setback into a setup for a comeback. A great example of this mindset is seen in the most successful people in the world. Think about someone like Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, or Steve Jobs. None of them had an easy path. They all faced rejection, failure, and criticism. But instead of letting those challenges define them, they used them as fuel. When Elon Musk's rockets kept failing, he didn't stop. He learned from his mistakes and kept going. When Oprah was told she wasn't good enough for television, she didn't let that define her. She proved them wrong. The common thread among all successful people is that they don't see failure as the end. They see it as feedback. So how do you develop this mindset in your own life? The first step is to reframe the way you see challenges. Instead of seeing them as proof that you're not good enough, start seeing them as opportunities to grow. Every challenge comes with a lesson, but you won't see it unless you look for it. The next time you face an obstacle, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Maybe it's teaching you patience, resilience, or a new way to approach your goal. Instead of feeling defeated, get curious about what you can learn. The second step is to take responsibility for how you respond. You may not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you react. Victim mentality keeps you stuck, but taking ownership of your challenges empowers you. Instead of saying, "This isn't fair," say, "This is my moment to rise." Every difficult situation is a chance to prove to yourself that you are capable of handling anything. Another powerful strategy is to use past challenges as proof of your strength. Think back to a time when you faced something tough and overcame it. Maybe you thought you wouldn't get through it, but you did. That experience is proof that you are stronger than you think. Every challenge you overcome adds to your confidence and resilience. The more you push through difficulties, the more unshakable you become. It's also important to stay solution-focused. People who struggle the most with challenges are often the ones who dwell on the problem instead of searching for a way forward. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What's my next step?" Action is the antidote to fear. Even if you don't have all the answers, taking one small step forward will build momentum. When you start focusing on solutions instead of problems, you take back control of your life. One of the most important lessons in turning challenges into strength is learning to trust the process. Sometimes things don't go the way we planned because something better is coming. Failure doesn't mean you're not capable, it just means you're being redirected. When you face difficulties, remind yourself that life is always working for you, even when it doesn't feel like it. What feels like a setback today might be setting you up for something greater tomorrow. Here's a challenge for you. Think of a struggle you are currently facing. Instead of seeing it as a problem, try to find the opportunity in it. Ask yourself, how can I grow from this? What strength is this building in me? When you start viewing challenges as opportunities, nothing in life will ever feel impossible again. At the end of the day, challenges don't define you. How you respond to them does. You can either let difficulties break you, or you can let them shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable. So the next time life throws a challenge your way, don't back down. Face it head on, find the lesson, and use it to fuel your growth. Because every struggle is a stepping stone toward the life you're meant to build. Number 6, use gratitude to stay strong. Gratitude is one of the most powerful mindsets you can cultivate, yet it is often overlooked. Most people associate gratitude with being thankful for good things in life. But its true power goes beyond just feeling happy when things are going well. Gratitude is a tool, a mindset that can build resilience, shift your perspective, and help you stay strong even during the hardest times. When life gets difficult, it's easy to focus on what's going wrong. Challenges, disappointments, and failures can consume your thoughts, making it seem like nothing is working in your favor. But the moment you choose to focus on what you do have rather than what you lack, your entire reality changes. It's important to understand that gratitude is not about ignoring problems or pretending that struggles don't exist. It's about choosing to focus on what's still good, even in the middle of difficulties. Life will always have ups and downs, but gratitude helps you stay grounded and emotionally strong. Instead of getting stuck in a mindset of scarcity, thinking about what's missing, what's lost, or what's unfair, you train your mind to see what's still available, what's possible, and what's working in your favor. When you practice gratitude consistently, you build the ability to find the silver lining in any situation, no matter how challenging it seems. Science backs this up. Studies have shown that people who actively practice gratitude have lower stress levels, stronger immune systems, and higher levels of happiness. Why? Because gratitude forces your brain to focus on positive aspects of life, reducing the mental space for anxiety, fear, and negativity. When you feel grateful, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the same chemicals responsible for feelings of joy and well-being. That means gratitude isn't just a mental practice, it physically changes your brain, rewiring it to be more positive and resilient. So how can you start using gratitude as a tool for strength? The first step is to train yourself to look for the good, even in tough situations. Every day, take a moment to ask yourself, what is one thing I can be grateful for right now? It doesn't have to be something big. It could be something as simple as having food to eat, a supportive friend, or even just the fact that you're still breathing and have another chance to make life better. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to shift your mindset from stress to gratitude. Another powerful way to strengthen gratitude is to start a gratitude journal. Every morning or night, take 5 minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be major life-changing events. Sometimes the smallest things have the biggest impact. Maybe it's the sunlight coming through your window, a kind word from a stranger, or a challenge that is teaching you resilience. Writing it down makes it real and helps train your brain to focus on what's working instead of what's lacking. Gratitude also changes the way you see setbacks. Instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? You start asking, what is this teaching me, or how can this help me grow? Every failure, every difficult situation carries a lesson that can make you stronger. When you develop the habit of gratitude, you begin to see obstacles as opportunities rather than barriers. Instead of feeling defeated, you recognize that every challenge is shaping you into a better version of yourself. Another key aspect of gratitude is expressing it to others. When was the last time you told someone you appreciate them? When you take the time to thank people, whether it's a family member, a mentor, or a friend, it strengthens your relationships and creates a ripple effect of positivity. Gratitude makes you more aware of the good people in your life, and when you acknowledge them, it deepens your connections. Expressing gratitude also shifts your focus away from complaining and toward appreciation, making you a more positive and uplifting person to be around. A common excuse people have for not practicing gratitude is, I don't have anything to be grateful for right now. But that's not true. If you woke up this morning, if you have access to clean water, if you have a roof over your head, these are things to be grateful for. Millions of people around the world don't have even the basics that you might take for granted. Gratitude is not about having everything you want. It's about recognizing the value of what you already have. The moment you stop waiting for something big to be grateful for and start appreciating what's already in front of you, your perspective on life will shift dramatically. One of the best ways to make gratitude a habit is to start and end your day with it. Before you get out of bed in the morning, take a deep breath and think of one thing you're thankful for. It could be as simple as waking up to a new day. At night, reflect on something good that happened, no matter how small. When you bookend your day with gratitude, you train your mind to stay in a positive state. Here's a challenge for you. For the next 7 days, practice gratitude every single day. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. Express appreciation to at least one person, and look for something positive in every situation. If you do this consistently, you'll start to notice a shift, not just in how you think, but in how you feel. Gratitude has the power to make you stronger, happier, and more resilient. It reminds you that even when life gets tough, there is still so much to appreciate. Because at the end of the day, gratitude doesn't just make life better, it makes you better. Number 7. Control your emotions. Control your life. Your emotions influence every decision you make, every relationship you build, and every goal you pursue. Yet most people let their emotions control them, rather than learning to control their emotions. They react impulsively, allowing anger, fear, frustration, or doubt to dictate their choices. But here's the truth. The ability to manage your emotions is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. When you learn to control your emotions, you take control of your life. Emotional intelligence isn't about ignoring your feelings or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about understanding your emotions, processing them in a healthy way, and choosing how to respond instead of reacting impulsively. Think about a time when you reacted out of anger or frustration. Maybe you said something you later regretted or made a decision that hurt you in the long run. Now think about a time when you stayed calm and handled a situation with patience and clarity. Which one led to a better outcome? When you allow emotions to take over, you often make decisions you wouldn't make if you were thinking rationally. But when you learn to manage your emotions, you put yourself in a position of power. You become the master of your own mind rather than a prisoner of your feelings. One of the most important steps to emotional control is self-awareness. If you don't understand what you're feeling or why you're feeling it, you won't be able to manage it. Many people suppress their emotions or let them build up until they explode, which only leads to more stress and regret. Instead of ignoring or suppressing emotions, take a moment to acknowledge them. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now and why? Recognizing your emotions without judgment gives you the power to choose how to deal with them. Another key aspect of emotional intelligence is learning to pause before reacting. When something triggers you, whether it's a rude comment, a stressful situation, or a setback, your first instinct might be to lash out, get defensive, or panic. But reacting immediately often leads to regret. Instead, practice the pause. When you feel an intense emotion, take a deep breath, count to 5, and ask yourself, what is the best response in this situation? This simple habit can save you from making impulsive decisions that you'll later regret. Your thoughts also play a major role in how you feel. Negative thoughts create negative emotions, while positive and empowering thoughts help you stay calm and focused. If you constantly think, I can't do this, or everything is going wrong, your emotions will reflect that, making you feel overwhelmed and discouraged. But if you shift your thoughts to, this is tough, but I can handle it, or what can I learn from this? You'll notice that your emotions become more balanced. Your mind is incredibly powerful, and the way you talk to yourself shapes how you feel. Another important strategy for managing emotions is choosing your environment wisely. Have you ever noticed how spending time around negative, complaining, or toxic people affects your mood? The people you surround yourself with can either help you stay emotionally strong or drain your energy. If you want to improve emotional control, be mindful of who and what you allow into your space. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who stay calm under pressure, and who approach life with a mindset of growth and resilience. In addition to surrounding yourself with positive influences, it's also essential to have healthy outlets for your emotions. Suppressing feelings leads to stress and mental exhaustion, while expressing them in a destructive way, like yelling, blaming, or shutting down, only causes more problems. Instead, find constructive ways to process your emotions. This could be through journaling, exercise, meditation, or talking to a trusted friend or mentor. The key is to acknowledge how you feel, express it in a way that helps rather than harms, and then shift your focus towards solutions. One of the biggest emotional challenges people face is fear, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. Fear can be paralyzing, keeping you stuck in the same place because you're afraid to take risks. But here's the thing. Fear is just an emotion. It's not reality. The only way to overcome fear is to face it. The next time you feel fear creeping in, don't run from it. Instead, acknowledge it and then take action anyway. The more you challenge your fears, the less power they have over you. Another emotion that often takes control is anger. Anger is a natural response to frustration. But if it isn't managed well, it can damage relationships and cloud your judgment. Instead of letting anger control you, use it as a signal. Ask yourself, what is this anger trying to tell me? Maybe it's telling you that a boundary has been crossed, or that something needs to change. Once you understand the root cause, you can address the issue calmly and effectively, rather than reacting in a way that you might regret later. Finally, one of the most powerful ways to stay emotionally balanced is practicing gratitude. When you focus on what's going wrong, your emotions will reflect stress and frustration. But when you shift your focus to what's going right, what you're grateful for, what's improving, what you've overcome, you create a sense of inner peace. Gratitude helps put challenges in perspective, reminding you that even in tough times, there is still good in your life. Here's a challenge. For the next 24 hours, practice emotional control. The next time you feel a strong emotion, pause before reacting. Take a deep breath and choose your response, instead of letting your emotions choose it for you. Pay attention to your thoughts. If they're negative, reframe them into something more empowering. Notice who you spend time with and how they affect your emotions. And at the end of the day, write down one thing that made you feel grateful. When you master your emotions, you master your life. Instead of being controlled by circumstances, you take control of how you respond to them. Challenges will still come, difficulties will still arise, but you will face them with strength, clarity, and confidence. Because the truth is, your emotions don't define you. How you handle them does. Number 8. Build confidence by taking action. Confidence is not something you are born with, it's something you build. Too many people believe that they need to feel confident before they take action. But the truth is, confidence is the result of taking action, not the cause of it. If you wait until you feel ready before going after what you want, you will be waiting forever. The people who succeed in life don't start out fearless or completely sure of themselves. They take action despite the fear, and as they keep moving forward, their confidence grows. If you want to become more confident, you need to act first, and the feeling of confidence will follow. Think about a time when you accomplished something difficult. Maybe it was learning a new skill, giving a presentation, or pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. Before you did it, you probably felt nervous or uncertain. But after you took that step and did it anyway, you realized that it wasn't as scary as you thought. Your confidence didn't come before the action. It came because of the action. Every time you challenge yourself and push through discomfort, you build self-trust. You prove to yourself that you are capable, and that proof strengthens your confidence over time. One of the biggest confidence killers is overthinking. Many people get stuck in analysis paralysis, where they spend so much time thinking, planning, and doubting that they never actually do anything. They wait for the perfect moment, but in reality, there is no such thing. The perfect moment will never come, because confidence doesn't appear out of nowhere. It is built through taking action, learning from mistakes, and improving along the way. Instead of waiting until you feel 100% ready, commit to taking the first small step right now. Another reason people struggle with confidence is that they compare themselves to others. Social media makes this even worse, because it constantly shows the highlight reels of other people's lives, their successes, achievements, and best moments, without showing the struggles behind the scenes. When you compare yourself to someone who seems more successful or experienced, it's easy to feel like you're not good enough. But what you don't see are the years of practice, failures, and setbacks that person had to go through to get where they are. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Focus on your own progress, your own growth, and your own journey. One of the fastest ways to build confidence is to prove to yourself that you are capable. Set small challenges for yourself every day and follow through on them. It could be waking up early, finishing a workout, learning something new, or speaking up in a meeting. Every time you complete something difficult, you reinforce the belief that you can handle challenges. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about trusting yourself to figure things out, even when you don't have all the answers. Your body language also plays a huge role in how confident you feel. Research shows that the way you carry yourself affects your emotions. If you walk with your head down, shoulders slumped, and avoid eye contact, you send signals to your brain that you are unsure of yourself. But if you stand tall, hold eye contact, and speak with certainty, your brain starts to believe that you are confident. Try this. The next time you walk into a room, lift your chin, straighten your back, and move with purpose. Even if you don't feel confident at first, your body will send signals to your brain that will help you feel stronger and more in control. Another important aspect of building confidence is how you talk to yourself. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, or I'll probably fail. You will start believing it. Negative self-talk destroys confidence. But the good news is, you can change it. Start replacing self-doubt with empowering thoughts. Instead of saying, I don't know if I can do this, say I will figure this out. Instead of thinking, I always mess up, remind yourself, every mistake is a lesson that helps me grow. The way you talk to yourself matters, so make sure your inner voice is one that supports you, not one that holds you back. Taking action also helps you conquer fear. Fear is a natural response to stepping outside your comfort zone. But the more you face it, the less power it has over you. Most of the things we fear, failing, being judged, making mistakes, aren't as bad as our minds make them out to be. Often the fear of doing something is worse than actually doing it. When you take action despite fear, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. Over time, what once scared you becomes normal, and your confidence grows as a result. Here's a simple formula for building confidence. Action, experience, confidence. The more action you take, the more experience you gain. The more experience you gain, the more confident you become. It's a cycle that feeds itself, but it all starts with that first step. So instead of waiting for confidence to magically appear, decide to act now. Do something small that moves you forward. Make a call, send an email. Start that project, whatever it is, just take the first step. Here's a challenge for you. For the next 24 hours, take one action that pushes you outside your comfort zone. It could be speaking up in a conversation, trying something new, or taking a step toward your goal. Don't wait until you feel confident, just do it, and let the action build your confidence for you. At the end of the day, confidence is not about knowing everything or being fearless. It's about trusting yourself to take action even when you're unsure. The more you do, the more you grow, and the more you grow, the stronger your confidence becomes. So stop waiting, start doing, and watch yourself become the confident person you were always meant to be. Number 9, surround yourself with positivity. The energy you bring into a room speaks louder than words. Before you even say anything, people can feel your presence, whether it's uplifting and confident or heavy and draining. And just as your energy affects others, the energy of the people around you deeply influences your mindset, actions, and overall success. This is why one of the most important steps toward building a better life is surrounding yourself with the right people and creating an environment that fuels positivity and growth. The truth is, you become like the people you spend the most time with. Their attitudes, habits, and mindsets rub off on you, whether you realize it or not. If you're constantly around negative, pessimistic, or complaining individuals, their energy will pull you down. You may start doubting yourself, hesitating on opportunities, or feeling drained without knowing why. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and uplift you, you'll find yourself becoming more motivated, confident, and open to possibilities. Your environment shapes you, so choose it wisely. Think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Do they encourage you to grow, or do they keep you stuck in the same patterns? Do they push you toward your goals, or do they hold you back with negativity and fear? This doesn't mean you need to cut people out of your life completely, but it does mean you should be intentional about who has the most influence over you. If someone constantly drains your energy, fills your mind with doubt, or discourages you from taking action, it might be time to set boundaries. At the same time, seek out relationships that challenge and inspire you. Spend more time with people who bring out the best in you, who celebrate your wins, and who push you to become a better version of yourself. Positivity isn't just about the people in your life, it's also about the energy you bring into the world. If you want to attract good things, you have to start being the kind of person who radiates positivity. That doesn't mean being overly cheerful or pretending life is perfect. It means choosing to approach situations with a mindset of solutions instead of problems, gratitude instead of complaints, and growth instead of fear. People are naturally drawn to those who bring a sense of optimism and possibility. If you want to build strong relationships and open more doors in life, focus on becoming someone whose energy lifts others up. One of the easiest ways to do this is to practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already present. It rewires your brain to see the good in situations, which naturally makes you more positive. When you start your day by focusing on what you're grateful for, you set the tone for the rest of the day. You walk into situations with an attitude of abundance instead of lack. And when you express gratitude to others, whether it's a simple thank you or a heartfelt compliment, you strengthen your connections and create a ripple effect of positivity. Another key to surrounding yourself with positive energy is to limit your exposure to negativity. This doesn't just apply to people. It applies to everything you consume. The news, social media, conversations. If they are filled with negativity, fear, and drama, they will affect your mindset. Be mindful of what you allow into your space. If scrolling through social media leaves you feeling drained or inadequate, take a break. If watching the news fills you with anxiety, limit your intake. Instead, feed your mind with things that uplift and inspire you. Books, podcasts, motivational content, or conversations with people who encourage you to grow. Your environment also includes the physical space you spend time in. Your surroundings affect your energy more than you might realize. A cluttered, chaotic space can create stress and overwhelm, while a clean and organized environment can bring clarity and focus. If you want to bring more positive energy into your life, start by improving your surroundings. Create a space that inspires you, whether it's your home, your workspace, or even the music you listen to. Small changes can make a big difference in how you feel and perform each day. It's also important to become intentional about how you show up in relationships. Instead of just expecting others to be positive, ask yourself, what kind of energy do I bring into my interactions? Do you uplift and encourage people, or do you complain and drain their energy? Are you the type of person others want to be around, or do you bring stress into conversations? Relationships thrive when they are based on mutual positivity. If you want better connections, be the kind of person who listens, supports, and inspires. Finally, remember that positivity is a choice. It's not something that happens automatically. It's something you create daily. Life will always have challenges, but you get to decide how you respond to them. You can choose to dwell on problems, or you can choose to focus on solutions. You can choose to complain, or you can choose to find the lesson in every situation. When you make positivity a priority, your entire world shifts. Here's a challenge. For the next 24 hours, be intentional about your energy and the energy around you. Avoid complaining. Express gratitude to at least one person. Limit your exposure to negative content. And most importantly, pay attention to how different people make you feel. If someone uplifts and motivates you, spend more time with them. If someone drains your energy, set boundaries. Your environment is one of the biggest factors in your success, and you have the power to shape it. At the end of the day, the energy you surround yourself with determines the life you create. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with positivity, and you will naturally attract more opportunities, deeper connections, and greater success. Number 10, believe in yourself and keep moving. Everything you want in life begins with one thing: belief. Before you achieve success, before you reach your goals, before your dreams become reality, you must first believe that it is possible. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or intelligence. It's the unwavering belief that they can make things happen. No one can see the future, but those who achieve greatness decide that they will, no matter what stands in their way. The moment you truly believe in yourself, you unlock an unstoppable force within you, the power of momentum. Think about this. When you fully believe something is possible, you take action. You don't hesitate, you don't second guess, and you don't let fear stop you. But when you doubt yourself, you hold back. You procrastinate, you make excuses, and you hesitate at every step. Belief is what pushes you forward, even when the path isn't clear. It keeps you going when things get tough, when setbacks happen, and when others tell you it won't work. Your belief is the foundation of everything you do. Without it, you stop before you even start. But with it, there is no obstacle too big, no challenge too difficult, and no failure that can keep you down. The problem is, most people struggle with self-belief. They let past failures define them. They listen to doubts, fears, and negative voices, both their own and from others. Maybe you've had times when you wanted to pursue something big, but you heard a voice in your head saying, "What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if it doesn't work?" And instead of moving forward, you let those doubts hold you back. But here's the truth. Those doubts are just thoughts. They are not facts. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not the fears in your mind. You are what you decide to become. If you want to build unstoppable momentum, you have to start believing in yourself before you have proof. That means acting with confidence, even before you feel confident. It means moving forward, even when you don't have all the answers. It means trusting that you will figure it out along the way. Some of the most successful people in the world started with nothing but a belief in themselves. They didn't wait for the perfect moment or for all the right conditions to fall into place. They just started. They moved forward, and their belief created the momentum they needed to succeed. So how do you build that belief? The first step is to change your inner dialogue. Pay attention to the way you talk to yourself. If you constantly say, "I'm not good enough," "I'll probably fail," or "I don't know if I can do this," You are programming yourself for failure before you even try. Instead, start saying, I am capable. I will find a way. I trust myself to figure it out. Your brain listens to the words you repeat, so make sure your inner dialogue supports your growth rather than limits it. The second step is to take action. Even when you don't feel ready, confidence and belief are not things you wait for. They are things you build through action. The more you take small steps toward your goals, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable. Each step forward reinforces your belief, creating a cycle of momentum that makes success feel more achievable. Even if you don't have all the answers, start with what you have and trust that clarity will come as you move forward. Another key to building belief is to surround yourself with people who lift you up. Doubt is contagious, but so is confidence. If you are constantly around people who bring negativity, fear, or discouragement, it will be much harder to believe in yourself. But when you surround yourself with those who inspire you, challenge you, and remind you of your potential, it becomes easier to maintain faith in yourself. Seek out mentors, role models, or a supportive community that encourages you to keep going. One of the most powerful things you can do to build belief is to visualize your success. Before you achieve something, you have to be able to see it in your mind. Athletes do this before a big game. Performers do this before stepping on stage. And successful entrepreneurs do this before launching a big project. Close your eyes and picture yourself achieving your goal. See yourself succeeding. Feel the emotions of accomplishment. The more you visualize success, the more real it becomes in your mind. And once your mind believes it's possible, your actions will start aligning with that vision. But belief alone is not enough. You must pair it with consistent action. Success is not built overnight, and momentum doesn't come from one big effort. It comes from showing up every day, even when it's hard. It comes from doing the small, necessary things that move you forward, even when you don't feel motivated. Some days you will feel like giving up. Some days the results won't come fast enough. But those are the moments when belief matters most. If you keep moving, you will eventually break through. Here's a challenge. For the next 7 days, act as if your success is inevitable. Walk, talk, and think like the person who has already achieved your goal. Take action every day, even if it's just one small step. Ignore doubts, silence negativity, and focus only on progress. After 7 days, you will start to see a shift, not just in how you feel, but in how the world responds to you. At the end of the day, momentum is created by belief and action. If you believe in yourself, you will take action. If you take action, you will gain experience. And with enough experience, success becomes inevitable. So don't wait for proof. Don't wait for permission. Believe in yourself now, take the first step, and keep moving forward. Because the truth is, everything you want is already within your reach. It's just waiting for you to believe it. Everything you've just learned comes down to one simple truth. Your mindset shapes your reality. The way you think, the way you act, and the way you respond to challenges determine the course of your life. If you start acting as if everything is working in your favor, if you believe in your ability to figure things out, and if you take consistent action, your life will begin to shift in ways you never imagined. Too many people wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or a guarantee of success before they start moving. But here's the truth. You don't need to wait. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to start. When you take action before you feel ready, when you believe in yourself even when there's no evidence, you create momentum. And momentum is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. The strategies we covered: controlling your thoughts, acting like the person you want to become, staying positive but realistic, asking better questions, using challenges as stepping stones, practicing gratitude, managing emotions, taking action with confidence, surrounding yourself with the right people, and building unstoppable belief are not just theories. They are practical, proven methods that will transform your mindset and your life if you apply them consistently. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, commit to acting as if everything is working out for you. Start each day with the belief that opportunities are coming your way. Walk with confidence, speak with certainty, and take action toward your goals. Every time you face a challenge, reframe it as an opportunity for growth. Surround yourself with positivity, silence negative self-talk, and trust the process. And most importantly, don't just think about it. Do it. The most successful people are not the ones who just learn. They are the ones who apply what they learn. You don't have to take massive leaps overnight, but you must take the first step. Start now. Believe in yourself, take action, and keep moving forward. Because the moment you decide to act as if everything always works out for you, you'll realize that it actually does.